What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Lindaris back at you with another video. Hey, before I go inside, I just want to make a video. There was a time where I was getting calls from like property managers and stuff to take care of like they get a bid on like some commercial sites, and I think they were like Walgreens. And this was a company that was outside of the states and all that stuff. As far as they weren't posted here in Missouri, they were like sometimes you'll have property management that's outside of your area, California, Denver. You got these property management companies that manage some of the CVS's, the Walgreens, so on and so on. So at one point in time, a couple of years ago, I was getting a call from them, and they was wondering if I could give a bid. And me not knowing anything too much about trying to rip and run everywhere, it was throughout the city. They had a couple of Walgreens throughout the city, and they wanted me to give a bid on a couple of Walgreens to kind of like cut the property and maintain it. So I ended up back then I was kind of like excited. I'm like, oh man, I could do a couple of Walgreens and stuff like that, commercial, because when you start, that's the goal, to get commercial properties and things like that, because you hear this all day, if you get commercial property, man, you'll start making it big and blah, blah, blah. And I get the whole concept of having commercial properties, but they come with their own headache as well, as far as when you're getting paid. I didn't heard negative. The positive things is, yeah, you're getting money, but the negative part, some of these companies, they're so slow on payment. You probably won't be getting your payments for like a month and a half, to sometimes 2 months, and then sometimes I done heard stories where they didn't even pay the company for maintaining the property. So you got stories here and there, but anyway, all in all, I went and looked at like 3 Walgreens, and one was in the city. I think most of them was in the city, but they were like spread out. But back then I ain't know no better, so I'm driving all the way over to this one, looking at it, driving all the way to this one, looking at it, driving all the way to this one, looking at it, and you'll end up in areas where you're like, man, I got to make sure I lock up my stuff, because you got people walking around. You got, those areas where you like, it's kind of sketchy. You better not even leave your door open, your window cracked, your phone in there. You better make sure you lock all your locks when you doing some of these properties, like when you go behind the building and all that stuff. That type of sketchiness. So, and I went over there, and it was a whole bunch of like, even though you're cutting the grass, it wasn't difficult, but at the same time, it was like a lot of trash everywhere. So, I'm like putting in the bid and stuff like that, trying to learn how to put bids in, for like commercial and things like that. And I put a bid in, I think for all 3 of them, or 2 of them at least. And I incorporate like picking up the trash, because I had got this this bullet point of things that for commercial sites that you want to try to maintain, if they have it on their property, and you want to put in for the bid. So I put the bid in, and I also incorporate the trash. And like I said, at both places it was trash everywhere, and I'm like, okay, this will take some time to pick up the trash and then to maintain the trash. So I put my bid out there. Regardless of what it was, I put the bid out there. And I don't even think I charged that much or put a bid out for that much. The first initial bid, yeah, to pick up the trash, and then, and then thereafter, there was like, to maintain cutting the property and making sure trash is picked up around the building and things like that. And they just wanted the they just wanted the grass cut. They didn't want to do anything else, It was just really low maintenance. They didn't care about the trash in the grass. They didn't care about the trash on the side of the building. They did not care. They just wanted a bid. They just told me they just want a bid for the cutting. They don't want to do any of the trash or whatever the case was. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm just thinking like, man, y'all don't want to pick up this trash? Walgreens? Don't nobody, really? This is the image, And then if your truck pull up and you cutting the grass and, you got some other lawn cares, companies riding past looking, and they just see trash everywhere, and they like, man, they ain't taking this company. This L&L Lawn Service Company ain't even taking care of the trash. Look at all this trash. And I come to say this. So I saw a guy, I don't know if he was on Facebook or whatever, but he was criticizing another company that wouldn't pick up the trash at this commercial spot. And I get what he's saying, hey, pick up the trash. But there's a cost to pick up the trash and to maintain the trash. I know if it's a piece of trash in, the yard at a residential place, you're going to pick it up and throw it in the garbage. You know what I'm saying? But we talking about trash. That's going to take you it could take you between 10 to 15 minutes to go around picking up trash and stuff like that. Each time you come to a commercial spot, maybe more sometime. But I'm assuming that the guy, even though he's looking at this, right, he's another lawn care provider, but he's pouring salt on the other lawn care provider, and we don't even know the reasoning for them not picking up the trash. And I said that to say this. Maybe they put a bid in for picking up trash, and, the property management people for this commercial site is trying to just be cheap. They don't care about it. They're probably like, oh, it'll blow around, it'll blow down the street, or whatever the case is. You got sometimes you have crappy lawn care providers, and sometimes you have crappy property management that, they're going to do the bare minimum. They want the bare minimum as well. So for the guy to be like, oh, they are picking up the trash, I get what he's saying. They should pick up the trash. But if it's a lot of trash, now, if you put a bid in for the trash, it is what it is. You don't want me to pick up the trash? All right, I'm running over it. I'm not picking it up. I'm not doing any of that. I'm blowing it away. When I'm blowing the clippings, I'm just blowing the clippings, and I'm happen to blowing trash everywhere. Oh well, oh well, because I put a bid in there to take care of the trash, and they want it to be cheap and not want to pay to pick up the trash. Then I'm not picking up the trash. I'm just going to do the bare minimum of what you paying me for, and that's it. So, yes, the lawn care guy provider he has the right to say, hey, this other lawn care company is not picking up the trash, but you don't know the backstory behind why they're not picking up the trash. They might be a great company, but at the same time, you got crappy management that want to do the bare minimum, and they don't want to pay the extra to pick up the trash. And it depends on what neighborhood they in, you know. If you got a crappy neighborhood, they probably like, I'm not paying to pick up the trash. You know, the people just throw trash everywhere. I'm not paying to pick up the trash. This is a crappy neighborhood, a crappy commercial site. I don't care if they pick up the trash or not. You got some property management that think like that, depending on where they at and where the property is at. If it's in a trashy neighborhood, they not worried about the trash either. So they don't want to pay the extra to pick up the trash. They just like, whatever. They probably think more trash is going to keep coming and this and that, and they constantly going to be paying for the trash. But yeah, I believe that it's not the lawn care company, it's the property management probably didn't want to pay for that lawn care provider in their bid to pick up the trash. And that's what I think. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt, you know, for my lawn care providers. And like I said, you got some crappy lawn care providers, but most likely, if you're taking care of commercial, you got your insurance and everything if you're taking care of commercial. So it's not like you're trying to skimp on, you know, that you're just doing this for fun or whatever the case is. Most likely, if you're taking care of a commercial spot, you know, you got your insurance all lined up, because most of the time, or if I'm not mistakenly, commercial sites want to see that you have insurance when they bring you on board to manage their property. I'm assuming. Tell me if I'm wrong, but majority of the time that's what's supposed to happen. Now, are they some property management and companies, commercial sites that's like, whatever? There might be, you know, who knows? But for commercial sites, yeah, you would think that they'll have the insurance and proper paperwork. So I wouldn't think they'd be skimping on, you know, not picking up the trash if it's agreed upon in the quote or the bid that they'll take care of it. But anyway, guys, that's my take on it. Take it how you want to take it. I'm out. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.